Dan, stop what you're doing. Put down the controller. We need to sell everything.
Dan, it's 6 a.m. What are you talking about?
Well, Sony just reached into my childhood, pulled out my soul and put it on the PS5. Konami's back. Kratos is back. John Wick is... Well, he's there for some reason. I don't know why.
All right, look. Calm down, breathe. I saw the State of Play 2. It was big, but was it really sell everything big?
Dude, they shadow dropped God of War Sons of Sparta. It's a 2D side-scroller. I've already completed it 3 times. And the Greek Trilogy remake, my PS3 can finally rest in peace. It's been screaming in the corner for years just so I could play God of War 3.
Look, I mean, I'm just as excited about Metal Gear Solid 4 finally escaping PS3 jail too, but...
And Castlevania from the Dead Cells people, and Kenna 2, and did you see Chicken Man in Project Windlass? I don't even know what it is, but I want to be that bird, dude. But more importantly, did you see Manhattan? Well, what was left of Manhattan?
Oh, you mean Control Resonant? Yeah, Dylan Faden is looking intense.
Intense? He's got a shape-shifting stick and he's walking on the ceilings of New York City. I don't even know what a resonant is yet. All I know is I want to hit it with a supernatural hammer.
It's a bold move turning a shooter into a melee RPG, but if anyone can make supernatural punching work, it's Sam Lake and a team. But I'm more worried about March. Ghost of Yotai, Co-op, Legacy of Kain, Marathon. Dan, with that and Ark Raiders, there aren't going to be enough hours in the day to play.
Hours? Who needs hours, dude? We've got Pragmata. It actually has a release date, April the 24th, and I thought that game was a shared fever dream.
Fine, you win. Look, I'll list everything on eBay, but I'm keeping my Steam Deck.
Deal. Now, stay tuned, people, because we're breaking down all 75 hours of trailers in approximately 60 minutes. Let's go. Dan with a gaming flair, pixel dreams and worlds to share, joystick tales and button cues. Welcome to Gaming Views. Good evening and welcome to another episode of Gaming Views. I'm here as always with my wonderful co-host, the only state of play I ever want to be near, Mr. Danny P. How you doing, sir?
Oh, aren't you a charmer? I'm doing very well, thank you. Yeah, good. How are you?
I'm very tired. I've spent the last 3 days in London and I don't like London because there's people. So my social battery is super low today.
There's people, and if you're lucky, there's a train that is going to be there to take you home.
And it's just been raining. So I'm standing on platforms waiting for trains that don't turn up in the rain, which isn't fun. And you can't even get like a handheld out of your phone to play a game. You're just like, it's chucking it down the rain.
Yeah,
rubbish.
We have just for everyone who isn't in the UK and lucky you right now. There's been a record. So we're recording this. Look, we'll date this now, the 13th of February.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, and it has rained every day of 2026 so far. That's a record. Every single day it's rained.
Every day. And what's even worse, January took 29 weeks. So, it was like, it's longer than normal. God, it's been horrible. It's just been miserable.
How are we helping you out with your tiredness? Well, we're squeezing in an extra recording this week. That's how we're helping you.
Let's do it. Well, we had to, man. I mean, State of Play don't turn up, especially not one like that every day. I mean, that was packed, man. That wasn't a gamer joke packed, man. But it was super packed.
Spoilers, I liked it.
I didn't like.
Yeah, spoilers, I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they had to step up their game. Microsoft did a good job, albeit only showed 4 games or whatever. Yeah. So they needed to come back with something. And they came back with, I've lost count, to be honest. I stopped counting at 20. So, lots.
And I think it was fair to say the last State of Play they did, we both weren't overly enamoured with that. Not that it was terrible, but it just didn't feel great. But there was games. I've seen a few people sort of moaning about it on the old socials today.
Socials.
And as someone who's not even a PlayStation owner at the moment, but really hoping a lot of them obviously come to PC, I thought it was a great show. Yeah.
It was a really good show. I still am really confused when I think they stick names in a hat and pull them out for which corporate, bozos are going to stand up and go, and we've got some more games after this. And they almost look like they want to advertise something, but buy this thing and here's some games. But yeah, it's always weird.
We'll mention it. Obviously, I won't say it now, but there was a particular guy for a remake of a trilogy of games who looked like he was having fun with his appearance.
Oh my God, he was having so
He
much
loved
fun,
it.
dude.
And I want to have his kind of fun.
He's having lots of fun. I bet he hasn't got a low social battery, Dan. I bet he's got a like overcharged social battery. And he's a voice actor. He didn't even need to get his face out there. Legend. Yeah, he was very happy. Right, before we go any further, I would just say if you are enjoying the show so far, and if you enjoy it further on down the line, or you want to wait, you can wait. It's fine. Doesn't matter. As long as you click that like and subscribe, and come back for more gaming goodies week after week with Dan and I. I know Dan's got some plans around social as well, so around some other elements of social, TikTok and all the stuff the kids are doing. So please do like and subscribe. As I always say, it doesn't mean a lot to you, but it means the world to us. Right. Dan, shall we dive in with what we've been playing? Do you want to go after 3? We can say, and we'll say it together.
Yeah.
All
go
right.
for it.
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Ark Raiders. Right. Moving on. So
pretty much. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it has been Ark Raiders. And spoiler for next week's episode, because we've already recorded that. It's going to be Ark Raiders in that.
It is going to be Ark Raiders. Do you know what? I'm not apologizing. I'm sorry, not sorry.
No,
do you know what I mean?
We're having fun.
I'm in love with that game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got back a little bit early from London. I did some work until about 6, and then I was like, I just have a quick raid. About 10 minutes before this, I wrapped up, and I was like, oh my God, I'm still going.
So that's why you were late. You said you were late.
No, but I was waiting for it to tip up, and then she tipped up, and then I stopped.
Yeah. No, it's just, look, and hold on, now last week's episode, go check out last week's episode where we deep dive and we tell you why we like it. But yeah, we're just having fun with it, and why not, right? And I think I said to you, I'd been playing it a bit. It was a bit more solo because we weren't able to join up. And I had a frustrating session a couple of nights ago. But then last night, I decided, because of this new event they've got running, I thought, go with a loadout, and I thought, sod it, if I lose it, I lose it, and was going more hunting for the Ark. And then I was having fun with that, and then you joined up, and we had a couple of really good rounds, didn't we? And that just brought the fun back into it, I messaged you, I said, I think I was falling out of love a little bit with it, and then that pulled me right back in.
Yeah, it's hard when you get some arse who just, murks you for no reason, or you get. I like today's session. I did get a little bit fed up because I went into Dan Battlegrounds. I was doing a run, but I was trying to bait some leapers because I needed the leaper drives to go. So I found one in little hideout in the red lake. Took him out. Right, killed him, because every time I normally take him out, someone else shoots him just at the end and then nips in and nicks their stuff. And I'm like, I'm too nice to shoot them and take their stuff. So I did this on my own, and I was like, I got 3 leaper drives off. And I was like, oh yes, I was running for the hatch. It was only 150 metres away. I looked round, I was watching one side of me, and there's a bloody hornet above my head. And then the other one clocked me, and they both came out and took me out. And I crawled all the way to the hatch. And just as I got there to press the button, I ran out of my stamina. And just as I got there, that was the most frustrating thing that ever happened. So I got a bit down. I was like, oh, do you know what? And then I went back in and played some more, and I was fun. So, yeah.
I think, all I want to say on this is it's all about the moments it gives you, whether you're solo or teamed up. Now, there were 2 for me yesterday. One when I was solo. So it was Buried City, and I was going to extract, and I think I said to you, so I was using one of the metros, and the metros have got so many of the rollers, the pop and the flamers, etc. I think I was going down the stairs on one, I took out a flamer, then a pop came up, I took that one out, and as I was going down reloading, I saw there was another one at the bottom. I thought, oh no, that's going to get me. So on most of the metros, you've got an escalator and stairs. And I was saying to you, it was like a comedy sketch. I was going down the stairs and it was coming up the escalator. When it got to the top, I just waited for it to start coming down the stairs, and I jumped over. I went up the escalator, and then I just kept repeating that. So me and this thing just kept exchanging paths, and it was just amusing me more than it should do. But then there was the one with you and me. What was it? Was it Bluegate? And you were trying to do that bloody thing with the power batteries. We could have.
Yes, trying to open the open the secret hatch. Yeah, I couldn't find the final battery. And what happened, Dan?
Was it a bombardier? Yeah, it came along. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think we eventually escaped it, didn't we? But you had to revive me twice, and it was.
I thought we were done for, and then I thought, why don't I just pop some smoke and run away from it? And that's what we did. and go out.
Because you had to revive me once, because I forgot that I thought I was safe in a building, but that building had a hole in the ceiling.
Bombs drop from the top, generally. It's,
I was going, Dan, I'm all right. I'm inside.
It was so good. It was so funny. And we've had a few moments like that when those things happen and we just managed to narrowly escape.
I saw it. One more moment. Because I'm trying to also be because for years now I think we've said on an episode with the Xbox party chat has kind of pretty much all died out. You just don't talk to people. But in this game, there's a lot of people on the microphone, whether it's just saying friendly or whatever. I'm trying to be a little bit more vocal, when I see people, and you and I, we just started the Blue Gate run. We come across another duo and they were like, oh, how's it going? And I said, yeah, guys, so far so good. And then I was thinking, and I thought, hold on, what if they think we've got a lot of loot now because I've said that? And so I quickly went back on and said, well, so far so nothing really, ha 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 ha. And they said, yeah, we've just started too. And I was thinking, yeah, we've got away with that one.
Yeah, my mic's still on when I went, let's go and get some olives up here. It all sounds really weird. It just all sounds really weird. Great game. Absolutely great game. So yeah, Ark Raiders, more Ark Raiders, and then we promise we will play some other stuff and give you some feedback on that. Right.
The week after next, just letting you know.
The week after next. And it'll be weird because I think next week I tell everyone I'm about level 40 and now I'm level 47, which isn't a slap-based joke. I am actually level 47.
Yeah.
Anyway, right, let's go on to some news. So only a couple of bits from me this week. One which you'd sent me earlier in the week and I'd kind of looked at and gone, oh God, but then it actually popped up in the news and I thought, no, we should probably talk about this because it is it's a really shitty thing. And because we're talking about Sony anyway, let's do it. So Sony have launched a way to have a PS5, or rather rent a PS5. And as Kotaku have said, it's gross. And they're not wrong, right? So essentially they've, in the UK, where Dan and I live, they've teamed up with a company called Raylo, who are notorious at this sort of nonsense, to offer rental options on a huge range of PlayStation hardware. And so for a 1 terabyte PS5 that you don't own, you can pay £24.50 a month, which is the equivalent of $33. That's for the 1 terabyte. Dan.
Right. Okay.
Right. Or if you want another controller, so if you want two controllers, if you want to play together with somebody, like most normal people would want to, it's £28.50 a month.
That's what I saw, a tenner. I thought that was bad enough.
Right. Okay. So the scheme is called PlayStation Flex, and it purports to lease out PS5s and accessories starting at $9.95 a month. Okay. Right. So this is deliberately aimed at customers who aren't willing. This is from Kotaku. Aimed at customers who aren't willing or able to pay the full price up front. So starting at $9.95 a month. This is the claim. This is what we all saw on the ad. But that's the price for the European only 825 gig digital edition of the PS5.
Right. Okay.
Which is about $13.50 a month for those in the US. But you only get that rate if you commit to a 36-month plan, from which you can't opt out of. Okay. Right? So in reality, if you want to rent it without that a month, so for a month, if you want it month on month, it's actually £19.50.
Wow.
Which is $26.50. Yeah. So it just, and the prices just keep going up. So, for the 1 terabyte, it's £11.60 a month. But if you wanted to rent for a single month or month on month, it's £24.50, which is $33. So bearing in mind that console is something you can buy for £480, with the disc drive. The signing up for the 36 month, that you can't cancel and have to pay. So this is people who, obviously can't afford a lump sum. It would cost you £417.24.
Yeah.
So, all right, seems that's a bargain. All right, it's £60 cheaper than buying it, except because that doesn't work out, because at the end of it, you don't own it. So you give it back. So you've basically just been renting it for £417 and you own absolutely jack dish. So it's just a sucky situation. It just feels really predatory for Sony to do something like that. And I know it's, I get it in this day and age where everything's a subscription model and but it just feels scummy, doesn't it?
It does feel like an odd move from them, but what kind of worries me more though, because I sent you another article as well, didn't I? Can I mention that one here? Because
of course you can. You don't need to ask, mate. It's your podcast as well.
So it's HP. So HP have also. So I've had to look at it on my phone. They've also said that in light of everything that's happening, the memory shortage, it's not switching to Chinese memory or cutting specs. It's asking gamers basically to rent Omen laptops. Now, looking at the article here, so this is WCCF Tech. HP position this as benefiting gamers, but you're going to get one of 4 configurations you can get. And looking at it now, it's from $49.99 a month up to $129.99 a month. That's dollars. So when they break the cost down over time, the approximate time to pay off the laptop's value is 15 to 25 months, depending on the device's purchase price. What's interesting is you'll never own the device, even after owning it for even after owning it for over 2 years. It's basically a subscription-based model, and if you decide to cancel the subscription in between, you'll be obliged to pay the remaining payments left out in those 12 months. And
it's incredible.
It's just feeling like, and we go back to what we said a week or two ago about was it Bezos saying that you'll be renting your PCs, and
exactly that.
Don't want to get all conspiracy and all that, but is this the beginning of it, right? Because the thing is,
feels like it. Once
these things come into play, they'll never go away. It's not like that they'll just add it on, and well, who knows? I know it's a bit dramatic, but it's not a nice move, I think.
No, but it does harken back to the old days when you and I are of an age where we'll remember that you used to have radio rentals and rumbelows and people who used to rent you TVs and washing machines and tumble dryers. So it was a big thing. And I think the last big ones who did it were, do you remember Bright House? I don't think they're still about.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did rent, but they were more rent to own, but they still did a rental, extortionate prices for, what you could get cheaper if you just had the money to pay for it.
Yeah, but at least, and blimey, we are, especially for radio rentals, we're going back to like the 80s, etc. It was more of an affordability thing. And look, there could be some people maybe that, people might be shouting out and say, yeah, it is an affordability thing here, but you're not going to own them at the end. Like you said, you're not actually keeping it at the end. So if you were paying it off, it's not like a HP, as in hire purchase agreement. It's not, you're not paying it off in installments. You're just literally renting it.
Yeah, and as Kotaku point out, and I quote from them, Raylo pushes its rental scheme as a circular economy, claiming renting tech is in some way more sustainable and environmentally friendly. And you're like, I know where you're trying to go with that.
Yeah.
But I think you're just hiding behind the fact you're raking it in is how it feels.
Because the other thing, not directly linked to this, but linked to this was, did you see this week, apparently Steam of Valve also run out of the Steam Decks?
Yeah, I was going to say, it's taking your favourite hardware off the market.
Yeah, because, and there's people are surmising it's because of the price of memory to make new ones or to keep that in supply. So if you're looking at it, companies, and I don't know, well, you still need the memory to make the things to rent out, but it's this Ramageddon is just never going to go away. We are going to keep talking about it.
We said it'd be all year, didn't we? We did say it'd be all year.
Let's know what you think about renting PlayStation and a HP Omen that you're not going to own. Yep.
It just sucks. It just sucks. Right, I've got 2 other tiny little pieces on our favourite game, Dan. So just one first one about Ark Raiders. This one's from Games Radar. So essentially the in Ark Raiders, so you obviously, we've talked about it before, you engage in PvP or PvE or a blend of both. But a neurological professor has told the Embark Studios CEO, Patrick Soderlund, that his game is a huge psychological deal. Oh. So Soderlund says he's read a bunch of articles saying Ark Raiders is almost like a social experiment, and it kind of is, and he loves it. He loves the fact that that's what it is. he says, I had a conversation at dinner 3 days ago with a prominent professor in neurology that had gotten to know about the game and said, listen, you have no idea what you've built. Forget about the game itself. From just the whole idea of psychological experimentation and social experimentation and what this game can be. And that he goes on to say that she's a friend of his, but she says basically she should do a collaboration and work with people in the medical field to study the behaviours that Ark Raider is triggering. I think it'd be amazing. It would be incredible, wouldn't it, to understand how, neurologically, how your brain works. Because we clearly have some sort of addiction to that loop, but then it's also, do you choose to save that person? Do you choose to, it's almost like that. What's the railway carriage?
Yeah.
The saving someone's life. It's almost a bit like that, isn't it? It's crazy.
Well, we've said just me a little while ago, a few minutes ago, was saying about how I'm second guessing now. When I'm saying something to someone that isn't you in the game, I'm now second guessing, did I say the right thing? Do I have to cover my tracks? Yeah, no, nothing to see here. Or like, when you call an extraction now, we're both, well, I know I am, but then you're running into the nearest bush to hide because you don't want anyone to see you, and it's, and if you just see the fallout online between those who are PvP and those who are strictly PvE, it's incredible as well. It's
mad. It's just, it's exploded, but it would be fascinating to see how it played out in a proper social experiment. I'd be fascinated to see the results. And just a final one, just on Ark Raiders, because we don't talk about it enough. It's reached nearly 1 million concurrent players on the PC last month. It's just, for, what is it now, 6 months nearly, 5 or 6 months old, that game. And it's, 1 million concurrent players just on the PC. And I play on the PS5, I know. So, and so do a lot of other people. So crazy. And the Xbox as well.
I think the thing with me is how 6 months in, it's still attracting more people. I mean,
look, bigger and bigger, isn't it?
Yeah, not to say a game doesn't attract new players, but you think a live service game like this and something that hit news, or it's come out 6 months ago, but it's still attracting sort of players by the bucket loads. It's
totally, So if you haven't played it, go and give it a go. Let us know what you think, or if you don't want to play it, let us know what you think and why.
Yeah.
Right, last night was a big one. We had a Sony State of Play, and it wasn't rather, a complete state. It was actually pretty good. It was jam packed. So let's do a flick through of the games that were there. There were a lot, and there was a lot to go through. We're not going to cover everyone in detail, but we'll pick out a few that we enjoyed and looked a bit crazy and discuss those and see where we get to. So look, we'll start. I'll run through them in order because, quite frankly, it makes it easier for me editing the episode.
All I'm going to say about it though is I started writing this and then I realised I was going to be writing it for all of them. Pretty much every game was stunning graphically.
There were lots of bangers in there.
I have to say, and I tried where I could to make sure it was all gameplay rather than the cutscenes, but every game just looked stunning. I just wanted to say that. Yeah.
No, you're spot on. It did. Every game looks really good. And I think, I think it shows what we've said about, the PS5 still, even though it's 5 years old, still very much early in its life cycle. And I think, because of the pandemic and all these things we've said, and I think developers in particular, are really starting to get to grips with it now. And I think that's really on show. Starting with the first one, which was Kenna Scars of Cosmora. So I never played Bridge of Spirits, the original one, but this looks like, it technically, to begin with, looks like a leap from it. I mean, the first one looked nice. I'm not saying it wasn't a nice looking game, but this looks, they've just obviously increased the scale of the thing. It's in a different region. It's, it just looks huge. Because the first one, I think, was all centered around a single forest or a single area. This one just, they seem to have, I don't know whether it's open world yet, but they certainly seem to have overhauled a lot of what that game is doing. And it looks pretty. It looks very pretty. And slightly more edgy, I think, than the initial one.
Yeah,
the first one.
This is what I've said. I thought it looks like it's going to be a fun action adventure. And the combat looked fun. And I've had a look, I think on Steam today, as of recording anyway, the first one is on sale. So I'm tempted to pick it up because, I'd not seen this one and I just liked what I saw of this. Yeah.
I think it's part of PlayStation Premium. I think, You can play it in their PlayStation catalog, I think. So yeah, maybe we should do that. Maybe we should give it a go and see what that's like.
Maybe I should.
I know it's got some great.
I should rent a PlayStation.
Maybe you should rent a PlayStation. Dan, don't rent a PlayStation.
If only they did that. Hold on.
Yeah, definitely don't do that. So yeah, look nice. I think I'm tempted to maybe even pick that up. We'll see how it goes. But I'm just gutted they don't do PlayStation Day One on PlayStation Premium like Xbox do. That's the only shame. Yeah. Good. So that's by Ember Lab, and given they're a very small studio, it's quite impressive. The next one we had is by the guys over at Sucker Punch. This is Ghost of Yotai Legends. So this is a free update for those people like me who own Ghost of Yotai. Again, I mean, that game, I've talked before about how stunning that game looks, so I'm not going to go into detail on that. But it looks really interesting. I love what they've done with it. It's a standalone co-op expansion for Ghost of Yotai. It's 4-player online, featuring distinct character classes, and you take on supernatural, a bit like they did with Ghost of Tsushima, supernatural mythic threats in the Eto region where you are in the game. I just, I love this, and I love the fact that I have to say, Dan, it is a birthday present for me because it's released on my birthday.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah, I saw that and I was like, I think Sucker Punch.
Is it? Are they doing a night rain here? So an elder.
It's not really a night. Well, yeah and no. I think night rain is. Do you know what? I don't know what night rain is. Let's ask Joey.
Yeah.
But
Joey,
it's 4-player co-op to take down bosses.
Yeah,
so yeah, I guess it kind of is.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I found it interesting. So I wonder if we'll see sort of more games like this where it's single player, and then to maybe prolong the life a little
evolves
bit.
Into yeah. Like I said, they did the same with Ghost of Tsushima, Ghost of Tsushima Legends. So I'm not sure how much of that was supernatural though. This looked really interesting when they started. They expand upon characters that were already in Ghost of Yotai. So the Yotai 6, and have made them. Like you have the spider, you have the. And they've just kind of made them supernatural. Again, look really really pretty. What did we have next? Okay, so we have Death Stranding 2 on the PC. Looks great.
My comment, looks proper stunning.
Yeah, I mean, it was always going to. I mean, that game looks stunning on the PlayStation. And, throw a heavy £1,000 graphics card at it, it's going to do wonders for it.
Because they mentioned upscaling frame generation. The only thing, I looked at Steam today, and it might be like one of the deluxe editions, but it's like $69.99. And
wow, okay.
Not yet. Not for me. Not yet. I will get it, but not at that price.
Yeah, but it's stunning all the same. I mean, they do put a lot into it. When they do these conversions, they do work really hard at making the most of, particularly Kojima Studios. So they do make the most of making the best out of the PC, which is really good. Then we had an unusual one. I don't know what you thought of this. And having been playing Ark Raiders a lot recently, this I couldn't tell whether I really liked it or really didn't like it. And that was 4 Loop. So this is an odd one.
Yeah, I said looks interesting, but I don't think it's for me. Sounds like Ark Raiders.
Sounds like Ark Raiders.
Yeah.
It was a little bit, So you're essentially a human, and you team up with 4 other humans, and you get to bid on which map you want to go to, and each map has different enemies and different things you can do, like extract or rescue people, or and it's done by the creators creators of Left 4 Dead. So they've got the chops when it comes to this kind of game, extraction shooters, and it looked like it had some unique kind of co-op puzzle elements as well. I agree, it looks a bit like Ark Raiders, and when you die, what's interesting with this one is when you die, as long as one of you gets out, you still get everything. Yeah. So that was interesting. It has a hub where you can upgrade and your weapons and, pump stuff into. So in similar way that Ark Raiders, you become better with each round and you can deal that. And then you can reprint your body when you get back if you've died. So yeah, I thought it looked really interesting. I don't have 3 other friends, Dan. So that is my problem with it. I have 1. That I could play with.
Maybe we should have a competition to get 2 friends that can play with us.
Maybe. I think they just shoot us in the back.
Is that a good prize?
It's not a prize, not for them.
But yeah, I don't know what it was about it. It just didn't quite hook me. But look, if you're into that genre, it does look fun. But I'll say something that I'm going to say for a game later. I didn't think Ark Raiders was for me either. So
this is it. We don't know until we try and do it. I did enjoy the puzzle bit at the end with the square box and the grids and that looked like quite a unique I like it when they do different things with bosses and they don't just go, here's a bullet sponge with red glowy bits. Although it did have red glowy bits, in fairness. But it did something different along with it. Right, then we had one I know you're stoked for that's out next week, which is Resident Evil Requiem. Next week after. No, it will be next week.
This is one of the ones I was really excited about, and I loved the takeaway from this. I thought it looked great.
Yeah, I'm still not 100% sold. I think I said to you, I'd love to play Leon and just go around, shooting everyone and kicking them in the face. But I'm not sold on the whole changing in perspectives and things. But
well, I've written,
what do I know? Back
to Raccoon City, multiple exclamation marks.
Oh yes,
yeah, because I think that's the thing,
and the mansion.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And I've put, it feels like a proper Resident Evil again. And what I mean, so the last one, Village, it was okay, but I wasn't a massive fan. But, a lot of the gameplay showed like the tight spaces, zombies rushing you. And it just, I just came away thinking that, that's, that feels like, it feels like it's gotten back to form after a little dip, I think.
Yeah, I didn't play enough of the other two. I played Resident Evil, Baker's House, and I played Village. But I didn't get far enough into Village. I think the giant woman and that I didn't get through any of that and getting chased. Didn't get chased through a house by a baby at some point or something.
That's probably the best bit in the game. That section.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So you should do it just for that, because that's the best bit of the game.
I think I've still got them both. I'm pretty sure I've still got them both to play, because I do that thing where I buy a game and I go, I'm going to play that. Like, you know me, I have to buy something like immediately. Yeah. I did it with Elden Ring. I go, I'm going to play it. Everyone else is playing it. And you play it 5 minutes, you go, I'm shit at this. And then Star goes, that'll go on the backlog. It sits in my box of games downstairs with all the others. Sorry.
That's what I should call it, State of the Backlog.
State of the Backlog, yeah. Dan's State of Backlog. So these are all Capcom games, by the way. So, I missed one. Before Resident Evil. Sorry, I did. Yes, sorry, I missed Pragmata. Which
again looks
fun. Was a weird advert for Pragmata, though.
But again, I think it was because it's still great, and I think it's still really intriguing me, that game.
I played the demo on PC, and it was glorious. I really, really enjoyed it. It's a weird premise. The whole puzzle game while shooting thing is odd, but it just flipping works. I don't know how they've done it, but it just works, and it works to the fact where you only play an opening section, I think. So you can almost see how they can make it more complex and layered as you go through. You can kind of go, but if they did that there, that would make that harder, but more rewarding. And it's that kind of, I think, thing, that evolution. But it just felt like the character designs looked amazing, particularly at the end where it just kind of stopped. He runs away from those things with the faces and that. But you were just like, it was a weird way to advertise the game and then go, it's a demo.
But I thought it was a perfect way also to advertise the game. It's because and I was going to say Capcom, I think, had a great showing. They did. There's a couple more to talk about. But
there are.
It's, again, it was another of the trailers that I've come away thinking that was one of the best ones that was on the show. Yeah.
Yes, it does look really, really good. And I think I said before, I will definitely be picking up Pragmata. Whether I get it day one or whether I'll wait for a while and pick it up. We then had where did we go after Resident Evil? Legacy of Kain, didn't we? Into Crystal Dynamics Legacy of Kain Defiance
Remastered.
And Ascendance. So it was kind of a bit of both. I loved Legacy of Kain, the original two. I'm of a mind where I leave it where it was. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
compared to what else we're going to see remastered later, it's not one I can imagine people are clamouring for. I mean, look, it's a nice option, and if you're a fan of it, great. Yeah, but like you said, it just feels like an odd series, but it's a classic series, so yeah.
Yeah, and then you had Legacy of Kain Ascendance, which is that 2D platformer thing. And what I did like about it though was they're doing the remaster, but they're also doing that thing that you love, where they're throwing in a previously unseen
Oh, yeah, I love all
prototype
that.
of another.
Yeah.
Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? I think that's quite nice. It's like, hey, ER, I know you've waited around for ages and you never really got to play it. Do you want to, we never made this, but here's a few
like
levels of it. For you
we
to-
were talking about this the other day. It's like the DVD extras, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what it is. I love that
I
sort
think
of stuff.
it's a lovely thing for him to do. So that's from yes, that's from being made by Crystal Dynamics, who we know are also doing the Tomb Raider reboot, and did Marvel's Avengers RIP. Or not. Right, then we had I'm going to skip over some of these. So we had Brigadine Abyss.
Yeah. I just got strategy RPG. That was it.
Good. Yeah. Strategy anime RPG done. I'm not a fan of this because I'm eager to get to the one afterwards, but we had Dead or Alive 6 last round.
This was an odd one for me because I thought, brand new DOA game, but it's not. It's like they're bringing back 6 or just adding to it, isn't it? So it's almost like a Game of the Year type affair, new costumes.
Exactly that.
Upgrade.
Yeah. Although I think they did confirm that a new DOA is in development, as a lot of these things did. Don't worry, we are doing something. But meanwhile...
But if I'm right, and again, it's something I'm going to bring up on a later one, the DOA games were famous for the aesthetics, I think, of the characters.
Are you talking about bouncing breasts, Dan?
Yeah.
Because that is essentially what you got from that trailer.
And it's whether they're going to, whether we're in a time, look, not saying prudish or any of this, but I think we're in a different time now, right? Especially we've seen with game development.
What's weird is it's the only thing that moves like that in the entire game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You don't, and there are like overweight characters and you don't see their, them. It's very much a focus for those developers in a very perverse way, it feels like.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how, if they do carry on the same and what reviews are going to say about that, because we've spoken recently about various things. I think Ark Raiders with the whole AI controversy, there was a particular website that really marked it down, sort of said the game's brilliant, but because of this, we're going to give it a rubbish score. Yeah. But fighting fans, of which I know at least one is listening to this, hopefully. New DOA game for you.
Or the same DOA game for you.
With a new one coming at some point.
Later.
Which could be just a rebrand of this one.
Quite like
again.
With bouncing breasts.
Yeah.
But oh my God, the next one, Dan, I cannot fucking wait for Control Resonant. I saw this and I was like, it looks like everything I hoped it was going to be. It's more open world, it's more expansive, but they've taken that whole oldest world vibe, vibe thing and thrown it at Manhattan, the entirety of Manhattan by the looks of it. Oh my God, it looks so good. It looks so good.
Yeah, I've written, it looks like Devil May Cry crossed with Prototype, crossed with Dishonored, crossed with Alan Wake 2.
Yes, and you have nailed it with that description. Yeah.
Yeah, because I love the way you could shift gravity around. So basically, you could walk up a building and then that became your floor, didn't it? The whole world rotated around you. That's really clever.
And you can jump and float and then just change it again.
Yeah. What I will say, though, a lot of the combat seemed to be quite odd, like one-on-one. And it felt, I'm going to use the word slow, but that's not the right thing. So I'd be interested to see how more of the combat, how that flows. But in terms of the trailer, again, it was just an awesome trailer. And these, at the moment, this team, Remedy, just, can't wait to see their stuff. Yeah.
I mean, Control was one of those, came out of nowhere, fucking amazing. Everyone loved it. It just had this vibe to it that was just weird. And you had, the what's his name, Artie, the caretaker.
Oh yes, yeah.
I just, that whole thing. He's going to come back. So you're playing as Dylan Fender this time. Dylan Faden, sorry. So this is Jesse Faden's brother now, who was in a coma. Spoiler alert! At the end of the last game. The Hiss have got out of the oldest house, and you're now in a warped Manhattan. But I'm just say again, so good.
It does look good. And I just love when they change your perception of the game. Like, I've really forgotten that game we were playing, that like action adventure game we picked up on towards the end of last year. Anyway, but that threw in a mechanic at the end where you could change the gravity, or change the perspective of the level you're on. And I just love stuff that does that.
Yes.
The one,
RPG,
yeah,
action RPG we both played.
yeah. And this is the whole thing. It was like a AA game, but we both
Embers,
loved it.
no, I can't remember what it's called.
I'll pick it up. I'll remember at some point. Yeah.
Yeah. So this time around, rather than being a third-person shooter, it's essentially a melee combat. So you have a shape-shifting weapon now called the Aberrant that can turn into a scythe, a hammer, or even fists, which looks pretty cool. And I think the trailer demonstrated all of those. I'm sure there'll be newer stuff added as you go along. They never reveal all this stuff at once. You got a new reach ability that you can navigate gravity anomalies, so floating around and flying around the city, essentially, which is where the whole thing about Prototype is very similar to. And then you can walk on buildings, turn stuff upside down, but in a very Inception-y type way, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks great. And even better news, it's coming this year. I don't know when, because post-November, no one's releasing shit. So, you know what I mean?
Well, we'll see if there's another announcement. It depends on an announcement, right? So
yeah, that's true. But I'm pretty sure Control launched in October. So I'm hoping that this is a similar release window. Right, that's enough of that. We then had a weird one. I couldn't work out whether I liked this or not, and whether it was Dark Souls co-op or not, because it's Crimson Moon.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't have much detail on this one, other than I like the vibe, but I'm not sure what it was.
So, some of my notes make me laugh, because I wrote this real-time last night, and I haven't looked back at them. What I've written is heavy metal skeleton hack and slash hell yeah. Looks a bit cartoony, kind of like Kingdom of Amalur. It kind of had that look to it.
Big, bulky.
Yeah, almost like overly colourful. And I remember thinking it looked fun, but yeah, whether it is kind of like a Souls-likey type thing, I don't know. What
was weird is you had this very unique character design that was this fallen angel type character with the mask and the stuff, and then halfway through the trailer, or a third of the way through the trailer, they introduce just a guy in a standard night armor, and you're like, why have you taken a lot of character design? You've taken loads of time with that one, and the other one you've gone, you know, those kids' book that have knights in them, stick them in one of them, and it was weird. So first of all, I thought maybe it's like a multiplayer and it's just someone's joined his world, or it's
maybe.
But then throughout the trailer, it really played on the fact that these two people working together.
Well, I didn't write when this one was coming out, but hopefully we'll see a lot more of it coming out.
I think these are all 2006 at the moment. I think that was the purpose of this.
26.
Yeah. Sorry, 2026. Thanks, mate. Not 2006. Unless you have a time machine, in which case go back in time.
If I had a time machine, I'll be going back and winning the lottery.
No, you wouldn't. You go and buy some RAM.
Yeah.
Go back and invest in RAM, Dan. That's what you want to do, mate.
Oh, dear. Yeah. So yeah, I think fun.
Good. Crimson Moon, and one to watch out for. I'm going to skip over the next one because we've seen a lot about it. We talked a lot about it in the Xbox One. That was Beast of Reincarnation, but still looking great. I'm still keen to really pick that one up and play that. I'm not going to skip over the next one. Well, sorry, you're not going to skip over the next one. I probably would, but this is Rayman's 30th anniversary. What are you thinking, Dan?
Yeah, I wrote Rayman in capitals with more exclamation marks than I did previously. Yeah, I like it. Look, it's a funny one to re-release, but I've mentioned here you're getting 5 versions of the game, and a digital museum, which again I'm a sucker for that. And Rayman is one of those games I think I look back really fondly, and it's kind of a classic of my time. So yeah, look, it's 30th anniversary. I think it's 26th of. Oh no, so it's out now digitally, but physical release on 26th of June. So yeah, I think harmless, but. Yeah, I love the fact you get 5 versions of it. Yeah,
and done by Digital Eclipse, who did the Atari stuff and all that. I know you've got some of their stuff already, and so you know care and attention.
Yeah, that team are great. Yeah,
totally. Then we had Mina the Hollower from the team that did Shovel Knight. Is it Shovel Knight? Yeah, I think it was Shovel Knight.
Yeah. Hollow.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of this. There's a demo out now on exclusive to PlayStation. I do know that, but I haven't seen a lot about this. It looks interesting, very 8-bit, old school, and you can burrow under things to attack them from behind and things like that. So I haven't, but people who've played it absolutely love it.
Yeah, I've said pretty much the same thing as you, but I feel I'm going off these kind of games because they look like they're hard.
I am with you. Yeah, I don't play hard games anymore because, as we both discussed, we're of an age now where we just do not have the reflexes.
Of an age. Echoes of the End was that game.
Thank you very much. Echoes of the End, not Embers. Yeah, we got there in the end. Echoes of the End. All right, we then had, there's another couple in there I'll skip over, but we had Never. Prologue.
Yeah.
Never. She, do you know what? The woman says it in the trailer, and I thought I've got to remember that to pronounce it, and I did. But yeah, this is the woman and her wolf, but a prologue to that, how she grows up with the cub. Never played the game. I know the guys over at TCGS did and really enjoyed it, and I think it was one of their nominations for Games of the Year a couple of years ago. They really enjoyed that, so yeah, maybe I should have a go at it. But yeah, this is a prologue coming out for that game. Then we had Yako Shinobi Ops, which sounds like a milk drink. Good for your gut. But yeah, this looked weird. Just looked weird.
I think I said not for me, but it's a fun take on Shinobi, so it's an isometric ninja stealth 'em up, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
do you remember the Commandos games?
Yes, yeah.
Where it looked like that, but with ninjas.
Yeah, well, you had on the old Commodore 64, so I'm going back a bit, like, and the Amiga, the last Ninja series as well. So
yes,
kind of, yeah. Like I said, fun if you like that sort of thing, but not for me. And I love the little the thing that really took note of was there was like a Metal Gear Solid reference where one of the characters was crawling in a box, so they're covered in a box and they're walking along.
And what was weird, you start off with fighting normal things, and all of a sudden these monsters show up. And you go, where'd they come from? It's a bit weird.
Yeah.
But fair play to them. Go for it. Right. Then we had Man in Bird Suit.
This was bizarre, wasn't it?
This is Project Windlass. And what it did make me do is go and look at the book series, The Bird That Drinks Tears, which is a Korean sci-fi high fantasy set of novels that are supposedly incredible. And I may well pick them up from, I've been looking for something to read. I may well pick them up on a Kindle because they're supposed to be absolutely epic about this world where there are humans, there are bird people, there are lizard people, and, they all have this treaty, but the treaty gets broken and they go to war essentially, which looks like this is what this game, but they've picked one specific faction, which is the bird dude, who's I think is one of the heroes in the books. And it's supposed to be a blend of kind of an action RPG type and Dynasty Warriors. So you can also command battlefields and things like that. So it looked weird, but it also looked interesting. It's kind of the thing that I could go, do you know what? I wouldn't mind playing that.
It did look different. The only thing I was looking at it and thinking it feels like a game that could get quite repetitive.
Yes, if it's not done right, you're right. Because it showed a lot of the battlefield and the masses of people, not much of the side bit, although it is early development.
Yeah.
This is from Crafton Studios, who have actually today just come out and gone, don't worry, there isn't any AI in that. They basically had to come out. I think people were like, oh, it looks like AI.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so yeah, I don't get this sometimes. I think the minute someone sees a studio doing something slightly different, they'll immediately jump to them. Well, it's AI, isn't it? Yeah. So you get thousands of things on a battlefield where there's no way you built an engine to do that like they used to. That must be AI. So they've had to come out and say there's no Gen AI in that trailer. They are working specifically with inbuilt tools built in house, etc. So yeah, the next one I suspect might have grabbed you. Didn't grab me too much.
No, it didn't grab me. I've got thoughts. No.
Star Wars Galactic Racers. Yeah, I always thought that whole pod racing thing was the real low point of Star Wars. Full stop. Right, but just even above Ewoks, I just thought it was like, oh God, seriously, dude. I mean, at least Ewoks killed stormtroopers. Yeah. These bozos are just arguing over and saying poodoo a lot. Not for me, man.
No, not for me. I mean, they did the whole pod racing years ago, and look, and at the risk of incurring the wrath of Star Wars fans, is there really a demand for this? I'm
a massive Star Wars fan either. I'm not, but it looks stunning.
Yeah, it does. But you know what? It feels like, to me, what I've written here is it feels like Wipeout, but in a Star Wars skin. And I just wonder if they wanted to do a new Wipeout game, but have literally just skinned it, because it did feel like that.
Needed the money. Yeah, Lucasfilm will give us some money to make it.
Which is crazy, because I think there'd probably be a real market for a Wipeout game now.
Totally. Yeah. I don't think there's enough drugs in the world anymore, though, with Wipeout.
No nightclubs either anymore.
Yeah, no nightclubs anymore either.
Yeah.
But yeah, the one thing it did really well was get that Star Wars aesthetic. You have to give it props. You know, the racing on Hoth, the racing on Tatooine, it looked great, but I don't want to go and race around it. Give me a shooter on a planet, like give me a fucking, Jedi, another Jedi survival. Give me what was the one with the, where you played the
Outlaws? Sorry.
No, not Outlaws. It was the FPS where you played a squad of troopers, clone troopers.
No, not Dark Forces. Not Dark Forces.
Yeah, but Dark Forces was great.
Jedi Academy.
Give me any of those things. I just don't need a racer. Do you know what I mean?
But everything has a racer now these days, doesn't it? So it's like,
Right, I'll skip briefly over the next one, but the more I see of it, the more I do think it'll be a bit of fun, and that's 007 First Light. So this is the James Bond origin story. I do like the fact they're focusing on in this trailer in particular, his charm to get him through, which is what James Bond's always been about, and how he develops that and uses it to his advantage. So it could be, but it looks a bit of fun. Like that. I do trust those guys over at IO Studios. I know, they've done great things with Hitman. It's not my cup of tea, but people who play it absolutely love it for a reason. So yeah, I'm looking forward to James Bond. I'm going to pick it up, I think.
I had a roller coaster with this one. I got annoyed when I first saw it because I wrote, just feels like we've seen drips of this for ages, and I was tired. But then having watched it, I actually really liked what they showed. It was a lot more gameplay, and Uncharted crossed with Tomb Raider crossed with Hitman.
Right, what more do you want?
And it did look fun, and by the end of it, I want it. So
Dan was won over. Dan was won over.
Yeah, I was just tired because we've heard so much about it and seen so many small.
Yeah.
And I thought if they're just going to announce another voice actor or something, but no, we saw proper gameplay.
They didn't. Yeah. They've clearly got a lot of faith in it, putting a lot of effort into the marketing. So hopefully it comes out as a winner. We then had a couple that were tied closely together. So this is Konami's offering. So, they tipped up and they said, now a bunch of stuff from Konami. And I was expecting a lot, but, look, we've got some good stuff. All right. So let's get into it. So we had the Metal Gear Solid Collection Volume 2. Mm-hmm. So this is Guns of the Patriots and that other one that was on the PSP.
Metal Gear Solid 4 and Peace Walker.
Peace Walker, that was it. Yeah, I'm not mad. Again, Metal Gear Solid stopped at 2 for me, but
I do like these games. Yeah.
Yeah, so, and it's nice seeing back with some, improved frame rates and polish for the newer hardware. And then a weird Darwin's Paradox, which looked great. I mean, just looked great. Like, just this, the tie-in to, Metal Gear Solid aside, which is a bit of fun, the game itself just looks like a genius idea.
Yeah, I wrote down what they flashed up at the start. So yeah, Darwin's Paradox, a tribute to Metal Gear Solid from an octopus, tactical octopus action is what it's billed as.
It's just it's weird, right?
It looked fun. I wanted to initially roll my eyes at it, but again, I looked at it and I was looking at it thinking, is it the new, like the new Sackboy? Is it the new, they're trying to be like almost a new mascot kind of thing?
I don't know, because it's Konami only, isn't it? But there was a lot of references, particularly to Metal Gear Solid in there.
It looked fun. We keep talking about fun. It just looked like such a fun game.
So it's a 2.5D kind of action platformer where you play a octopus who can maneuver himself into different shapes and also camouflage himself against specific things. So lots of puzzle elements. Yeah, it looked fun. It did look fun.
Yeah. So
hopefully it's not stupidly expensive like certain games that have come out, will be available. I don't know when that one was available. I didn't see.
I think I just deleted it off my notes. So
it might have been 26. I think it was definitely this year. I think all these I said were this year.
Yeah.
Good. We then had one which, again, I'm not huge fans of these. I do love a Metroidvania, but this is Castlevania, a new entry into the Castlevania series with Belmont's Curse. So this is the first original 2D Castlevania in over a decade, developed by, and this is the one thing that does give me a little bit of hope. This is developed by Evil Empire. So these are the guys that did Dead Cells Return to Castlevania. So for those of you who played Dead Cells, it's phenomenal, and they did a time of Castlevania, and it was brilliant. And so you're kind of like, well, maybe, the Dead Cells guys with it could be something very special. What did you think?
Yeah, it again looked great. I just love the fact that it's you play someone called Trevor. Yeah, the last of the Belmonts. So it's
not enough
yeah.
heroes in games are called Trevor anymore. Yeah. All right, Trev. How you doing?
Well, we had Simon originally, didn't you? You had Simon.
Yeah,
now it's Trevor.
Trevor and Simon?
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, those globally, we had Trevor and Simon in the UK who were kids' TV presenters.
No, it looked really good. I'm not, again, whether I pick up, I don't know, because we're seeing a lot of these kind of games now, including one later, which I'm a lot more excited about.
Yes.
Yeah, I think, look, if you're a Castlevania fan or you're a fan of this type of game, this looks like it's going to be it's going to be really good.
Long.
Yeah.
I think it's going to sell in bucket loads. People love Castlevania, and just from like the Netflix series went down really well. They made a second series of that. So I think there's a definite market out there for Castlevania stuff. And if you've got a hero called Trevor, why wouldn't you? Right. And speaking of Simons, this next one, even I like the look of this, and I don't really like this. So this is Silent Hill Townfall. And when I saw it, when this opened up, no joke of a lie, I was watching it and I was like, it got to a point where he went into town and a little bit of fog came on, and I went, this can't be a UK-based Silent Hill, can it? And sure enough, some fucked up visuals happened, and you're like, it is! It's Silent Hill in the UK! My God!
I am so excited about this. This was my favourite one on the night, I think. So much I actually swore in my notes.
Did you?
Yeah, I put... Because I straight away I got the music. You knew it was Silent Hill almost instantly from the music, right? And then the minute you see him, it's not a rager. It's a rager of sort, isn't it? He picks up. Yeah. I thought this is, and I put looks fucking great, which I don't often swear. So.
It's an IV drip he's got in his hand, isn't it? With like a weird.
If I remember right, the only thing I'm not sure about it being in first person. I like the third person. Aspect.
Maybe you can switch. Maybe I'll let you switch.
I don't know. I think I'd look. I mean, I hope so.
It does say first-person horror gameplay. To be fair,
well, yeah, that's the only thing that's I'm a little bit tentative about. But
fair enough.
But look, I'm really excited about this. I'd not seen anything about this prior. The fact that it's set in the UK, like potentially an island in the UK, it's great to see a different setting. And again, it looks great. I like the Silent Hill games. I keep saying I don't like these horror games, but I seem to end up playing them. And
you do a lot and enjoying them.
This is one of my top ones of the night. This was,
Yeah, it did look cracking. And like I said, even though I'm not a huge Silent Hill fan, I think I fell out of love with Silent Hill 2 playing it, the remake. It was great, don't get me wrong, and fans out there, please don't chastise me. It's not my cup of tea. It wasn't scary. I just got bored. To be honest, and I was like, I'm just a bit bored of it. But this looked it looked good, and the enemy designs. All right, there was some callback to Silent Hill 2 in some of them, but some of the other stuff was like, that is proper freaky. Someone's gone to town on that. Yeah, so set in a little seaside town called St. Amelia, and releases this year, which I couldn't believe either.
Yeah.
From developer No Code and Annapurna, and we know that Annapurna do a bunch of brilliant stuff. They publish lots of really good stuff. So, yeah, looking forward to Silent Hill Townfall. All right, what we got next? I'm going to skip over this because it's not really Rev Noir.
I didn't write anything on this, so...
No, I didn't even remember what it was until I watched it again. We have Rev Noir. Something about rain falling and burning people.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, for some obscure reason, John Wick turns up.
Do you want to know my comment on this?
Go on.
How delightfully random. No, how delightfully random.
It was just like, what? Why is John Wick?
Do you know what I was expecting it to be? I was almost expecting it to be like another Hitman event
it
or something.
It started off a bit like that, and then I saw he had hair, and the minute I saw he had hair, I went, "It's fucking John Wick."
No, but you know how they've like introduced like they had Bruce Lee in one, and then Eminem, like an event, like and I thought it was that, but no, it's a full-on game. Yeah,
no, this is a AAA tentpole action title from Saber Interactive.
Very violent.
Very violent, created in close collaboration with Keanu Reeves and the director Chad Stahelski to ensure the gun-fu combat is authentic. Third-person action with heavy focus on environmental kills and high-speed choreography. Now, this is the only one that I've got on my list that had a TBA against the release date, so maybe not this year because it did look very early in development, but if they can pull that off, like the action from the movies, that could be amazing. And we know that some films have got some games have got close to that. Sifu for one, and there's another one coming out that's an Indonesian knife fighting game that looks very similar. I can't remember the name of it now, but so we know they can pull some of that off. And if you tied that in with something like Gotham's counter system, the Arkham games counter system or something like that, you could come out with some phenomenal stuff, couldn't you?
And John Wick as a protagonist is not like the most what's the word? He's not overly. There's not a lot of story and character in that. He plays it quite straight laced as he does a lot of his characters.
He's a bit.
So it feels almost like the perfect lead for a game like this, where you're just going through and just kicking all sorts of hell. Random, but I can't wait to see more of it. Yeah.
When I saw this and I saw him turn up, it reminded me of our conversation about your remake of, or your movie of Pac-Man with Keanu Reeves as a data, and just his whole being and aesthetic of just being this kind of morose, playing a dumb. I can't remember how you phrased it. Not dumb is the wrong word. No, just very monotone, not knowing what's going on. Yeah. For that, what Dad's alluded to, when it comes out, I'll let you know, but I've guested on another pod. I mentioned it. I think I'll mention it next week, but yeah. You do mention it next week, yeah. Yeah, we'll link that. We'll plug that. We will. But yes, it sounds brilliant, and I will tune in and watch that, so should you people. Right, then this was the game that made me go, I'm too old for this shit. I did have a moment of, Lethal Weapon. I just went, I'm too old for this shit. I've looked at this before and gone, oh, it looks all right. And then I watched this fucking trailer and I just thought, I can't do this anymore. That trailer, it exhausted me, Dan. Yeah, I get what you mean. I absolutely get what you mean. I watched it and I'm like, this is for marathons. This is the folks over at Bungie who we know do first-person shooters incredibly well. We know that Destiny was brilliant. We know that Destiny 2 was even better. But my God, this game and the visuals and I was just like, what the fuck is going on? It's going to be out just over 2 weeks from this episode. But yeah, this is what I was saying earlier. Again, look, they know what they're doing. They're great. It looks great. It just didn't look for me. It just didn't look for me. I just, like you, I get what you mean when you said you felt exhausted. I 100%. I was, right. So picture the scene, not too graphically, but I was in bed with my iPad watching the State of Play last night because I had to be up early today to go into London for work. So I was watching it very late at night, feeling very sleepy after 2 previous days in London. And I genuinely sat there going, I can't even fucking watch this. My brain is melting outside of my ears watching this trailer. And I'll put clips up. You'll see what I mean, hopefully. Because if you're same age as me, if you're about 12, you'll probably love it. But yeah, I couldn't wrap my head around it. And even today, I had high hopes for what they'll come out with. And I genuinely, I love the guys at Bungie. I hope it does really well for them. I really do. But they even came out today and went, we know what they're doing with, Ark Raiders, and we know they're doing the whole focus on PvE thing. We're not going to do that because actually part of the stress of doing these runs is wondering whether someone's going to shoot you in the back or not. And I'm like, I don't want to wonder if someone's going to shoot me in the back. Yeah. I have enough stress of that with Ark Raiders. I'm not sure I want that in first person. Thanks. So you're gone. So I look, and sort of a look forward and a plug for our episode next week, all about live service stuff, but it'll be interesting. I'm intrigued to see how this does, and because this has been talked about for a long time, and the market now has just got interesting with Ark Raiders. So I look forward to seeing how this does and the conversations that come out of it. So it's a PvP, PvE, PvPvE extraction shooter, and they do have a server stand that starts. So it's playtest, see how much they can max out the servers. That starts on February the 26th. If you're interested in that, so have a go. Right, what was next? Oh, one we've seen before. Saros still looks beautiful.
Yeah.
And revealed a bit more about how the loop works and how you come back to life and how you can level up your character. Still looks entertaining as hell, this game. I will still absolutely suck at it because I suck at bullet time and bullet hell shooters. I sucked at Returnal and stopped playing it, but I will still probably pick it up and give it a go because Housemarque makes some wonderful stuff, and I love Rahul Soli as well. I think he's brilliant. So, yeah. We'll have a go at Saros.
Yeah.
Couple more to go. Well, before we get to the one I know you want to talk about. So let's talk about one that will make Tim happy. So this is Marvel Talk on Fighting Souls, the X-Men reveal. So this is by Arc System Works. So they revealed Storm, Magic, Wolverine, and Danger. And I think Danger is the Danger Room, the AI of the Danger Room from X-Men come to life. So that's what Danger is. That's why I've never seen her as a character in the comics, but I'm sure she is there because it's massive and huge, and I'll go and have a look for it at some point in my library. Yeah, I mean, it looks gorgeous.
It really does.
I won't play it, but it looks gorgeous.
I've also got a soft spot over the years for these fighting games. The problem is, you look at it and it looks great, right? But it's being played by someone who knows how to play fighting games, whereas you get it to me and you're just pushing the punch button or the kick button.
Totally. Yeah, it will become a button masher. And then there are people like Tim who really understand how fighting games work and how moves work and how, you know, you can guard break and the frames between each thing. And I'm just like, like I said, reaction time in the pan. So there's no way I'm going to be able to play a game like this, but it looks stunning.
So that's
I love what they've done with those characters.
Yeah. The game I play isn't going to look like that trailer. That's the thing.
Well, it will. It'll be the computer will be on the side kicking the shit out of you. That's what it'll be, Dan. Yeah, that looked gorgeous. All right, now we get on to the one that I know you are, and I am, in fairness. Well, let's be clear. I was a tiny little bit disappointed that there was no reveal for the next chapter of God of War, because I would have loved even just don't worry, we're making another one.
I thought that's what it was going to be at first.
Yeah, I hope that. And then I saw those, 1, 2, 3, and I was like, they did a remake, and and great, they're doing a remake, but I didn't even see any of that. How are they remaking it? What are they doing with it? How pretty is it going to be? So what we got was TC Carson, who's the voice actor who was very, very excited.
He was great. Yeah. He was great.
He was brilliant. So he's coming back for the remake. So he will be revoicing Kratos for the Greek trilogy, as it's known, which is God of War 1, 2, and 3, the originals. I don't think they're doing any of the PSP and the stuff that they did, although they were all equally brilliant. And I have played them because I know you can, won't say how. But yeah, so God of War 1, 2, and 3 being remade from the ground up at Santa Monica Studios. So these are the granddaddies of God of War, and who make the more recent ones as well. So it says here there's an August the 6th release for that, but I'm not sure how factual that is, because you thought they might have shown something for it if it was August the 6th.
I mean, he did say, didn't he say there was going to be, or was he alluding to the final reveal? But it felt like he said there was going to be something shown soon. So maybe they've got something up their sleeves.
Oh, I took that as the next bit, which was their shadow drop, which is this God of War Sons of Sparta.
Yeah.
So this was again from Santa Monica Studio and Megacat Studios. This is a 2D Metroidvania action platformer with hand-drawn pixel art. Set prior to God of War, featuring a young Kratos during his brutal training at the Spartan Agog, alongside his brother Deimos.
Yes. Well, yes, please for me on that. So go back to the God of War first. I don't think I played the original trilogy. I played one on the PSP. So for me to get my hands on that, having just played, I mean, we've discussed recently having played the God of War and God of War Ragnarok just now.
Yeah.
I really want to get my hands on those. Now, the key thing will be it's called a remake, so it'll be interesting to see how they've remade it. So is it sort of scene for scene the original, just in newer engine? Are they going to change it more to be like the newer Norse type ones? We don't know. what I said earlier as well, also, because I know they had a couple of choice bonus things in between levels in the God of War games, didn't they? So whether they
did.
Yeah, so I can't see.
I'd imagine they will.
I
think they'll keep some of that more adult content in there, yes.
But so I'm really, that's what I want to know. It won't affect me either way, but I want to know if they're keeping it in the same vibe as the originals, or if they're going to turn it into the modern ones, because they can. So it'd be
pretty special if they did that, but it'd be quite hard. I've played all three, and it'd be quite hard to turn them into. I mean, the set pieces and the action in that were just insane. And we said in a previous episode, a few episodes ago, that, you know, they weren't known for their amazing story. They were more known for running up and pulling eyeballs out of things. And that was what kind of sold them. You know, it was more the kills that you got, and the more gruesome, the better type thing. That was what they were known for.
So I was going to say, for Sons of Sparta, maybe it's a recency bias for me as well, because I've said earlier, a couple of the side-on 2D stuff, we're seeing a lot of them. I really like the look of this, and I like the fact that it's going into his past, you know, so I'd be keen to see how much they sort of talk about that. It just, again, looks fun, right? And it feels like a stopgap sort of till the new games or the trilogy get remastered. But I did see someone on social media, because as you said, it's available now. Someone has bought it, and the difficulty levels, easy is called boy. So that's the easy level is called boy, which I think is great.
Yeah, there was so Games Radar at the moment are doing a, you know, as they play review, and I'll just give you the pros. So the pros are: the young Kratos and Deimos narrative is a neat premise and some interesting mechanical twists. The cons: ugly animation means action lacks definition. Combat feels dull and tame and struggles to stand out in the genre or the series, which isn't
that's
great.
Not great. Yeah.
So not great. I wasn't taken with the animation. I thought it looked a bit clunky, but you know, I wasn't paying too much attention to it. And it costs £25 as well. Yeah. You know, I felt for some reason I had in my head it had been shadow dropped. I think what Microsoft have done, that they put me in this thing when they shadow drop and they go, it's free. And so I'd kind of got it in my head and gone, oh, it's not free. It's fucking expensive for what it looks like. So, and the other thing I noticed today, some people moaning about, was like, it actually says, I think in some of the advertising, it says there's a co-op and people can't find the button to join up and do 2-player.
That's not good either then, really. That's not good either.
Are you adding that after? Is that what's happening? So, it was a bit odd. But, So, overall, I think the state of play was a winner. Yeah. I think there was a bunch of really good stuff.
One thing you've missed out. There was a thing about PS Plus.
I ignored that.
No, so they're bringing Spider-Man 2 this week, Tekken Dark Resurrection in March. This was the one that's the only reason I wanted to mention is Time Crisis, the original Time Crisis in May.
The original Time Crisis with gyroscopic controls.
Yeah, like a light gun. So you can use it like light gun. And a Big Walk, which looks like it's one of these party type games as well.
Yeah, why was that not on my list? Oh, maybe it was so short that I didn't. So that's from the guys who did...
Oh, I can't remember now. I didn't write that down.
No.
I was tired at that point.
It's a game that a lot of people have played, actually. So apologies. The guys at Big Walk, I'm sure it's brilliant. I didn't like the look of it, to be honest. No. The whole holding up pictures but there'll be people out there who love that sort of stuff. So
yeah, I thought it was a good show. I remember now that a lot of the criticism from people came from the fact that these were a lot of them were multi-platform games, which I'm like, come on, we got to get over that now, because
totally.
Let's just get over it for a start. But it felt like there was a big omission for me, which I'm sure you were waiting for. Were you waiting for it?
I wasn't, because I knew it wasn't happening, because somebody had said earlier. So earlier in the week, someone had tweeted Insomniac and said, can't wait to see it. And they kind of had implied that you'd have to wait until spring.
Right. So this is a Wolverine game we're talking about. Yeah. I thought I was waiting to see that. But look, you don't want a 007 First Light tire everyone with lots of little drip feeds again. Yeah.
And do you know what? If they're going to do Wolverine, I want to see one of their focused sessions on Wolverine. I want to see him talk about, because, Wolverine's not just claws and fury. You know, he's got other gifts. Yes, he's got his healing factor, but he's also got heightened senses. He's got all these things that could come into play in a really special way in that game. That, you know, because he's a tracker and a hunter and all, you know, so I think, you know, if they can show and display some of the things that they're going to bring into that game in a, you know, in a 20-minute segment or whatever, that would be incredible. I don't really want to see it crammed into, here's a bit more Wolverine, he's slicing people up. And I've seen that, and it looks amazing, by the way. So yeah, that was the only missing thing. And then the only other thing that was missing was just fucking random hardware that Sony seemed to throw at these things normally. Yeah. What was it last time? A monitor. And before that, it was some speakers that you can tip up on their sides. I was like, well, where's my Sony branded cup holder that lights up or something? Because that they haven't done one of those yet. Or my Sony webcam. Where's that?
You'll be able to rent those soon, so don't worry.
Yeah, sure you will. So, but all in all, I think it was a big success for Sony. I think it's exactly what they needed. I think there are some lovely stuff coming out of there. The only other omission for me, other than that Wolverine, was what we've said before, that Sony do so very well is those single player focused narrative adventures, and there's not many of them popping up, and I'm just a bit also disappointed that a lot of these, like I said, I hinted at earlier, these bigger studios seem to be falling back on remakes and remasters rather than focusing on driving new narratives and doing new things, because it just feels a bit lazy and hack. But that's just personal opinion. My gaming view, not all of gaming views.
Let us know your gaming views.
Yes. And look, if you've enjoyed this, and as Dan said, we've got one in the pipe for next week. So we'll be talking about live service next week. Please join us for that one. It was a fun episode to talk about or moan about, whichever way you want to look at two old men moaning about live service video games because they're old. But if you do like this, please do like and subscribe. It doesn't mean much to you, but it means the world to Dan and I. And please do interact with us. Drop us a question, drop us notes. If there's anything you want to hear us talk about or want to hear us do an episode on, please do let us know. Thank you for tuning in. Dan P, anything else from you, my friend?
Just to say thank you and goodbye to all the lovely listeners and watchers.
Thank you and goodbye. Join us for another episode of Gaming Views.